Hello everyone, and welcome to another video by Figure Fanatics. Today we're not necessarily going to review a figure. We are giving some tips on how to take care of your figures so they don't get messed up. And we have two examples here of one that was taken care of and one that we did not take care of. So you can see what will happen if you don't. On the right, excuse me, I have to make an L. Yeah, left, right. Okay, on the right we have a double figure based on an illustration by Tony Taka, which is a Japanese manga style artist. He makes a lot of concept art for video games like Final Fantasy X, the Shining series in Japan, which is similar to Final Fantasy, and some other animes that he has worked on. This is just based off an illustration of his, these two Nico girls, you could call them. But this is one we have taken care of. This is my wife's figure.
Oh, these are my girls.
She adores this one. I bought this for her a long time ago. But when you want to take care of your figures, which these things are expensive. I mean, honestly, for what you get, you do pay a lot of money. And you want to take care of it. Well, basically, they just sit on a shelf. You're not going to be playing with them like a typical toy that a kid would play with. So what we normally do to take care of them,
and if you do, you're probably going to wind up losing a lot of add-ons for your figures.
Yeah, breaking them. The important thing and the biggest enemy for these is dust. Because dust, when it sets on the figure, not only cakes on it, but if you live in a humid area, like if you're near a large body of water, like if you live near the ocean or a large lake, or it's just humid where you live, like a foresty area, the dust will make moisture, stick to the figure more readily. And over time, it'll deteriorate the paint. So the best thing to do for your figures is to dust them. Since there's a lot of nooks and crannies, especially in this one, that's why we chose it, because it's easy for this one to get dirty. You want to use a brush. We use a basting brush. You can go to the cooking aisle in a dollar store or Walmart or someplace like that and find these things. They're for basting, marinades or barbecue sauces on meats or foods, what have you.
And they're really cheap, so you're not buying something expensive.
We bought a 3-pack of these for like $1. You're not going to break your bank on it. Although I would recommend writing something on it so you don't actually use it for food, because you're using it to clean stuff. I doubt that would be sanitary. But anyway, the best thing to do is to lightly brush away at the figure, making sure you get in all the nooks and crannies, get on all the solid surfaces.
Which is why we got this brush. It's got harder bristles, so it can reach down in those nooks and crannies, like in their hair creases, and it can remove that dust without you actually having to push very hard on it.
Yeah. But anyway, that's the way to do it. Just dust the whole figure, dust the base, get all the dust off there, and it should be in good shape. And if you do that regularly, you pretty much are not going to have a problem, as long as the figure is just, say, out on a shelf, like this one normally is.
And we've had this one for 3 years.
Oh, longer than that, 4 or 5. It's an old
and
figure.
It still looks really good. There's nothing wrong with it, and she still looks clean.
Dust your figures. It's ideal to do it once a week. We try to do that. We try to clean our house once a week, but that doesn't always happen. So as often as you can, once a week I would recommend. If you can't do that, just try to do it as often as you can. Now, we're going to show you an example of a neglected figure. This is Kasumi from the Dead or Alive series, and she's in, what is it, Southern Cross, her swimsuit?
Southern Cross is the one I wanted, which is the black and pink.
Okay.
This is, oh my god, I used to know the name of this one.
You can tell she's played lots of Doha volleyball.
Yes, I have. I will have all of those achievements.
Anyway.
I can't remember the name of this one.
I don't know either. This figure we actually had in our cabinet by our television. And the cabinet had a glass door, so she sat inside the cabinet right above the Xbox. Now, if you own an Xbox, at least the old white style that we used to have, they're noisy and they get hot. And inside that cabinet, we never bothered dusting her because we thought, oh, she's in a cabinet. How's she going to get dusty?
Yeah, Yeah, we thought she was, fine, safe, couldn't get any harm done to her.
Plus, it was warm in that cabinet. And heat is another thing that will really hurt your figures. Never store them in an area that gets very warm. Like if you have a shed outside and you want to store figures in there, don't do it. Because if in the summer, if it gets around 100 degrees, you're going to be ruined like this one.
So this is a warning to you guys, one that I kind of wish we had known about, so you can save your figures that you adore.
Now, from the screen on my camera here, I think you guys can see the shininess to this figure. Originally, her skin was dull and flat, like these, like you would like in a figurine.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this one turned shiny, and we didn't notice till after we took it out of the cabinet when we were getting rid of that cabinet.
So she was in there for quite a while.
What happened is the dust effect, and what happens is when the dust gets on it and lets moisture in, it'll deteriorate the paint to get this shiny look. Plus, the heat reacting with the PVC these are made out of didn't help either. As far as I know, there is no solution for this. Once your figure gets this way, it's this way. I've tried lots of tricks I've looked up on the internet, like giving her an ice bath or putting her in the freezer, cleaning her with a mild detergent. Every time it'll just clean the grease off, but it comes back.
Yeah, it doesn't really work.
Yeah, and this was one of our favorite figures, which you cannot find anymore because it's extremely rare.
Yeah, this was, again, another eBay buy, I believe, because somebody was selling her from a store.
No, it was some guy selling his collection.
Oh, but he got her from a store.
Well, yeah, he bought it from a store. But anyways, it was very nice. It was the 10th anniversary Kasumi from the Dead or Alive series.
It's so depressing.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix this, if there is a way. We keep her, I don't know, it's hard to get rid of something you've spent $60 on.
Yeah.
But if any of you know how to get rid of this greasy look,
please tell us down in the comments below.
post it. I'd love to know. I don't mind being told something I don't know. I love learning new things every day. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but there's dust on her, mainly because I don't want to use our figure dust to brush her off, because then that grease might get on all the other figures.
Oh, we have a lot of figures.
Yeah, quite a few. Well, not that many. Well, I guess we do.
Yeah, we ran out of room.
Yeah, pretty much. I had to build a shelf. But that's about it. I don't know what to do with Kasumi. There is another issue with figures you'll find. Where is the... There she is. On figures, particularly if you put them back in their box and ship them, or you're shipped to you and they're not adequately protected, you'll come across a problem. Like here we have a figure based on an illustration by Shunya Yamashita. Here, let's get rid of Kasumi and then we can put her there. If you notice on her stomach, you probably can't see it in the video. Let me see if I can get close enough and still be in focus.
Oh, there you can kind of see it.
There's little black spots on her stomach,
And
right
on her
above her
arm here.
underwear. Yeah, on her arm. That's where her skirt rested while in transit. Now, normally when you buy a figure from a retailer and it's brand new, there's plastic in between all the painted parts. However, with this one we bought used from a collector, and he didn't package it like that. So when it got to us, the paint from the skirt had rubbed off on her stomach. Now, that's not something you can easily just wipe off. The only real way to get rid of it, which I haven't done yet because I don't like doing this, is get a Q-tip and put an extremely light amount of paint thinner on it and super lightly brush that away with the Q-tip. You have to be really careful though, because that is paint thinner and that will eat the paint off these things, and you'll go right through the, like in this case, right through the paint that is her skin, and you'll see the gray underneath. Here, maybe on this side you can see those streaks better. But that is the only way I know of to get rid of that. If you're going to do that, I would recommend testing a spot on the figure that you can't easily see.
Like on the underside of her foot.
Yeah, the underneath of a foot or something like that. Because you do not want to scrape away paint, because then you would have to go through the trouble of repainting her. And, you know, you don't want to have to do that if it's at all possible, avoidable. I don't like doing it, and I've only done it once. This one needs it, and I really do not want to do it, and I probably won't because it's not that bad to bother me.
It took us quite a while to find this figure. He was hunting for it for a long time.
Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend doing it. Now, another issue you might come across with your figures is like on this one. See how she leans backwards? Here, let me zoom out. She leans that way, which is the style of figure. Although that presents a problem, because over time, like on her leg right here, the whole figure started to lean more and more, which you don't want. Because then she actually wouldn't stand up. She would fall over.
Yeah, which is why, if you saw in the video, he was holding down on the base and started to very lightly let go. It used to be if you were holding the base and you let go, she would just topple backwards.
Yeah, and that's why on the back of her head, you can see, there's a white mark where she rested against the cabinet that I can't even talk, the shelf that she was on, so she wouldn't fall over. Now, that is fixable, because PVC is a very flexible plastic, although there's a certain way that I do it. I don't know if there's another way, but this is how I do it. Go to your sink and turn on some really hot water. Just let it run, run out the faucet. And then pour the water or sticker under the running faucet where you want to bend it back to its original shape. I did it right here and right here where she was bending backwards. Then once you get her hot enough, it just takes a few seconds, you can actually bend the plastic. It'll become very malleable and you can just bend it to where you want it. Now once you have the shape you want, since heat is bad on these things, immediately dunk it in an ice bath and let it cool off, and it will harden into the shape that you bent it to. It's a little tricky, and I wouldn't do it unless you absolutely have to. And I'd practice on a figure you don't care about, honestly, first, because you don't want to ruin a figure you can't buy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how I do it. I've heard of some people using a blow dryer to heat up the area and then bend it. I just use the hot water. I honestly don't know which way's best. So.
But again, you want to be careful of how much heat you put on these.
Yeah, because like with the example of Kasumi, heat is killer for these things. So you don't want to do it. You want your figures to look like these two gals over here that are dressed in their little maid waitress outfits. You want to be straight up, clean, fresh paint. And see, this one was 5 years old, so these things can last.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes proper care.
Yeah, you just have to take care of them, which that comes with anything. If you have something that you really like, if you take care of it, it's going to last you for a long time.
And another thing that we do, we always open our figures, and people will gripe and complain at us because it says, oh, you ruined the value. Oh, your value is gone, which is all and well good. We buy them to display them. We don't buy them to preserve their value.
It's to each their own.
Yeah, however, one thing of warning with keeping it in your box is being in an enclosed place like that. It takes several years, like 4 or 5 or 6, but it will deteriorate like our Kasumi did. So that's just
because
something.
It's not getting any air. It's stuck in that enclosed space.
Yeah, so the PVC will deteriorate. PVC isn't meant to last forever. So if you want your figures to last as long as you can, take them out and take care of them. The box will protect them, but over time it'll also hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind. I think that's all we've got.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions for taking care of Kasumi, by all means, comment down below and let us know.
Or even taking care of things in general. If you have a tip that you find that works good for you, or a suggestion, or if you think we're a bunch of idiots and want to tell us off, go ahead. I don't care. I don't know you. But anyways, feel free to comment if you have anything. Otherwise, just dust. Basically, that's the biggest thing. Dust them.
Yeah.
Dust them off.
Take care of them.
Yeah.
You spent money on them, so I'm pretty sure you guys are taking care of your figures.
Yeah, and besides, if you later on you decide figures are for losers and they're lame and you want to sell them, they'll be clean and a lot easier to sell than a greasy Kasumi that
nobody will buy.
Yeah. Actually, I read that grease that comes off these things is actually toxic. So don't lick your figures that are greasy. That's just probably get you sick.
I don't think anybody would do that, but
You never know. There's weirdos out there. But anyways, we're about out of time, so just have a good day.
and see you guys next time.